So another mini milestone. I've now got skirts under the most of the lower level now, covering all the woodwork and junk. Upper level. Going around here, I took a tip from one of my followers who suggested to turn the tarpaulin around because the rear side had a almost an anthracite color, the same as the fascia board color. So that was a good idea. So the other side of the layout also now closed in with curtains. It's the newest piece there, still got some folds on it, which I'll leave it hang for a while and then iron out with a warm iron. Should be able to get those creases out. But now pretty much all closed in. Just got a slight opening there to be able to see the trains going up and down the helix. Other than that, layout's now more presentable. All the junk is hidden behind the curtains. What I may do is I may paint the posts, these wooden posts, I may paint them with the anthracite color just to get them out of the way a bit in terms of viewing. But here we are, upper level, lower level. Presentable. Okay, this is a look at the Yardmaster jobs on the Rhineland layout. There are two major yards on the layout. This is Venlo Yard, and there's Kaifuk Yard at the other end of the layout, other end of the main line. And the two yards work together in that they send shuttles, freight shuttles, between each other for local distribution at each yard. So this is, we'll have a look at Venlo Yard and what's required at this yard from the Yardmaster. I've created a clipboard that the Yardmaster can use, which has instructions and has a schematic view of the layout. Blue are the yards, red are all the industries in the yard. Basically, Kaifuk Yard does the lower level and services all the industries on the lower level here, and Venlo Yard services all the industries on the upper level. Each yard has an instruction list, which are basically the same. The instruction list, in this case, because of this video, it's in English, but I have them in the local language in Dutch as well. Looking through the instructions for the Venlo Yardmaster. Instruction 1 is check the arrival and departure track. Is it being used or required, or is the yard to be closed? Then set the closed switch for the yard. Basically here, closed. Open, the yard is open or closed to accept trains coming in from the outside world, because when you're switching around on the yard, you don't want a train entering and causing issues. So the yardmaster can set whether the yard is open or closed. Then check the yard and the boxes of car cards. If a train is on the arrival departure track, check if in or out, and then do your checking of what needs to be done with that particular train. At the moment, if we look at the yard, then that's the arrival departure track, local return track. So all trains arriving and departing will leave from that track. And if we look at the yard, we can see that there is an outbound shuttle that's been built on the departure track. And so the first thing and the only thing the yardmaster can do at the moment is send out the yard shuttle. The train pack had already been built, so the yardmaster could have seen in the boxes that train pack has been built. Our locomotive has been attached. We can see that on the arrival departure track, and there are, I think, 14 or 15 cars in the pack, and this train needs to go to, the shuttle needs to go to Kai Fook Yard. That will clear out the arrival departure track, and then switching can be started to build a local train going to one of the local industries. So with the arrival departure track cleared, trains can be built. There are trains that would go to Almere Logistics, Sugar Union, the VAM composting, trains going to the Nedcar auto plant, Bayer Sand and Gravel, DSM coal mine, and Esso fuel depot. Another local would be to the refineries and petrochemical at Shell, Esso, BP, ICI, and the food processing at Heinz. Sorry, I didn't get that in picture. And the last one is a shuttle going from Venlo to Kai Fook, and that's what we have in the arrival departure track at the moment. So the yardmaster then can build trains going to these industries based on what's in the card boxes. Here are the boxes for Venlo Yard. And he would basically build a train with a box that's got the most cards. So in this particular case, there's only a couple of cards going to the refineries. These cards have just arrived, so they're turned around, and the train that we can build would be going to the sugar plant, Nedcar, Almere Logistics and VAM. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cars ready to go out, so we can build a train going out to those industries. That would be the thing the yardmaster would do next. In the meantime, we would check if trains are arriving. For instance, there could be a shuttle coming from Venlo that needs to get into Kai Fook as well. So in general, what the yardmaster does is build trains that need to go out, accept trains that come in and break them up for distribution to the local industries. Accept incoming trains, classify any incoming trains as they arrive. Tracks can be used as the yardmaster desires, and repeat the above. Turn the freight cars around as soon as possible. The priority is always for the refrigerated cars, the white cars, to go in and out first, because they have perishable goods, of course. Next priority for loaded cars, finally any empties added to trains. So that's the continuing activity of the yardmaster during the day. Keep the cars moving, going out to industries and coming back from industries.